Our guest tonight is Anna Durrani, and we are discussing the topic, our environment and conflict, creating change. And then over to my far right is guest host.
Hello, everyone.
And your name is?
Laura.
And welcome. Thank you for being here.
I think, yes.
And who was that?
Everybody
Also your sidekick?
Oh, Nibbles?
Yeah, Nibbles.
She's right underneath, yes.
Nibbles is...
She was checking out the radio station.
Yeah.
Sorry, she was a bit busy.
Okay.
She's back. She's part of my environment and my energy.
Yeah.
She's calming and
so
comfortable.
Anna, how can there be a connection or an effect or impact of the environment and how we feel?
Good question. Well, basic physics property, every action creates an equal or opposite reaction. So if we make a change in our environment, naturally it's going to make a change in our lives. So the idea is to create your own personal oasis where you love to be, where you feel safe, where you feel comfortable. And once you're content and inspired in your space, your mind is more, happy and is in a better place to be intuitive and creative.
Very good. In terms of the words Feng Shui, did I pronounce it right in the first place?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
You've been practicing.
Yeah. What is Feng Shui?
Well, literally, Feng Shui translates to wind and water. So Feng Shui is an ancient Chinese philosophy, been around for centuries, where you create or select an environment that promotes your well-being. And it's based on the laws of nature. So the basic philosophy, as I mentioned, is that everything's energetically connected and changing, and that our consciousness is represented in our environment. So the purpose of practicing Feng Shui is to align ourselves in balance and harmony with the energies of where we live and work. When we're properly aligned, we can, we're in the flow, and then positive things can come to us in our lives.
What about the matter that our environment is also a product of people?
Yes.
We create our environment as well, right? And then
Yes.
our environment is a natural space, is what can be.
Yes.
So what's the context then in terms of how we end up feeling?
Yes. Well, the way I look at it is everything has to start in the mind first, in the individual. So we have to, approach conflict in a different way. We have to manage it in ways that, are more productive and constructive rather than negative. So if you have a relationship where there's conflict and tension and something's, not working, then it's up to you to change the way you perceive the conflict, and then that's how you can affect the relationships in your environment.
Because I know that I believe in terms of that we're responsible for our behavior, our decision making. Mm-hmm. We have ownership. A lot of times, though, we pass that on to somebody else. We blame others. Mm-hmm. We have certain controls, but we really can't control other people. Mm-hmm. We can influence them. How can we also do that with our environment? How much control can we have of our environment? Or does it more control us?
I think we have more control over our environment than we do over people. People are very unpredictable and at times emotional. So we have more control over changing the space, the way a space feels, removing clutter so that we don't feel, mentally stifled by the stuff around us. But absolutely, so it's that synergistic relationship where we affect our environment and our environment in turn affects us. So it's all connected.
Is Feng Shui as well something that is about organizing the physical parts of the environment or the space?
It is. It is. A big part of it is organization, clearing the clutter of your home and your mind. So, starting with the way you think about your life and your space, making room for new opportunities by letting the chi, which is just a fancy word for energy, flow into your life. Listen to what your possessions are saying. Do you really love something? If you don't love it, then don't eat it. Get rid of it because it stagnates your energy. And then just making your space your own personal paradise where you can flourish and you can be creative and you're achieving all of your goals and your dreams in your life. And the only way to do that is to be organized.
I would think one has to be really connected with oneself, being in the moment and what you're experiencing in terms of feelings and situations.
Definitely. And I always suggest, meditation, self-reflection, journaling is wonderful to really focus your intentions and your dreams and your goals. So absolutely, any little practice that you can use that really connects you to yourself is very helpful. Feng Shui is only a tool. It's not a magic wand. It's a tool that you can utilize in your life to alleviate conflict and to achieve that which you want to achieve in your life.
What kinds of things can lead us to be involved in conflict then that you feel?
Yeah. Any type of clutter. So, bills, unpaid bills, receipts that you no longer need, like that could translate to financial difficulties. Say you kept an item from an ex-boyfriend or something, and that looking at that object leads you to have negative feelings. That may be stopping you from finding a new relationship or being able to attract, new love.
To being open, so you're sort of, in a way, stuck in the past.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it. Removing the stagnant so that you make space for more opportunity in your life.
The whole concept of openness, as I like to incorporate that as part of the mediation practice.
Beautiful.
Just an open space, you mean?
The concept of openness.
Oh, I'm sorry, Greg. But thanks for clarifying. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I appreciate you too.
Just to clarify that, being open to the opportunities of the universe, being open to what can be offered to you. When sometimes if a person is closed, the opposite of that, they don't see opportunity, they only see hurdles. They see
obstacles.
Obstacles.
They just create a wall of energy that probably
a barrier,
new energy,
an invisible wall,
not able to penetrate and allow. Right?
I mean, energy, all this stuff is invisible, but, people argue, does it exist? Well, there's a lot of things we can't see that exist. So why not energy, and, they can measure it now. So absolutely, these invisible forces have an impact on
I think a lot of it has to do as well with one's state of mind, attitude.
Definitely. You hit on another very important note. We have to have a positive attitude about our lives and about ourselves as well, and to know that we deserve these wonderful things that we're asking for. And so that's a good point, Greg.
Yeah. What do you think, Laura?
I'm just thinking, it definitely sounds great, and I completely agree. We are all energy, and we are connected through this energy, and space as an organization, it's very, very important. However, there are many people that cannot bring themselves to that positive attitude, that positive energy, every day waking up and feeling positive. It sounds great. You want to be positive, but are there any ways that do you think people would be using or could be using to wake up into a positive attitude? I don't know. It's like something that's meditation. I tried it. I have to tell you, I found it very, very difficult.
It's
very hard.
Takes a lot of concentration.
Yes. Yeah. It's very hard, and I'm gonna keep trying.
It's worth it.
Are there any other ways though that you think?
I always find journaling really helpful. I've sort of kept a diary, so to speak, my whole life, and I realized how important that was in reflecting on things that brought me happiness or that, took away from my life. And it helps you to recognize the things, the trends in your life,
Right.
and what things are triggering your anxiety and your stress levels and those feelings, and to try to, just check yourself and try to remove those things that are stressful in your life.
And you probably are removing as you write. I mean, the act of writing itself, it's removing or stripping away of you
of your mind.
Yes.
And you can hold it away from you and say, okay, I had that thought, and that's not me, and this is what I want to think, and it's a sort of reprogramming of the mind too.
Right.
Maybe you might look at it as a shifting of the energy.
Shifting.
Taking it from one kind of space and place to another.
That's
Love
very
it.
good, Greg.
Thanks. That's about all I have to share. We're going to take a break. When we'll come back, we'll talk more. You're listening to Mediation Station on CHHA, 1610 AM, Radio Voces Latinas, the first ethnic and community station in Canada.